for
Yeah.
us. You know, you just kind of go like, I need to do something. Like, do I need to go deliver food or do something? And actually, no, what we need to do is stay home. And that's
Yeah,
what they want us to do.
spreading the love with the world's best skaters coming to you live from your living room. It's pretty special.
Well, that is special. So I feel like I am doing something, and I'm happy to help out Kaetlyn Weaver with this. And you know, enjoy. It'll be fun. It'll be a really nice time to sort of share with the fans. And
A good little reunion. And we've actually got a bunch of different skaters making comments on here. I think 2002 Olympic champ Alexei Yugdin said hello to you.
Alexei Yagun, nice. He was on this last one. He was hilarious. He did the other fundraising event with skaters as well. So I saw him on that. He was great.
Awesome. It's so good. It's so good that this figure skating community is so tight. And actually, if you don't mind, can we do a little look back and have a look at some footage? Are you up for this?
Yeah, sure.
Great. This is a new feature that we've been doing, and I think it looks pretty cool. So let's start off with this one. This is Pyeongchang. You were obviously on the sidelines with Yuzu, and this is his first performance since his ankle injury. So talk me through what you guys are saying here.
Oh my gosh. You know, it was like, kudos to Yuzu. I mean, he had been through so much, and you can just see there like how focused he is and how much of his success is because of how strong he is mentally. This was a miracle, really, for him to come back from that. It was really a bad injury, and to be off the ice the amount of time that he was, but he was determined, and it was baby steps and baby steps and baby steps every day with our team to get him to that point. It was really quite remarkable. I mean, it was really incredible, you know, as you can see from the reaction.
And I love this bit right here. You won't hear it, but I'm back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was back. It was really something. Yeah. Yeah, and a big relief for him. And then he just, you know what? Then he was just on some kind of cloud for the free program. You know, as we all know, the short program is like a do or die. I mean, you have to do a good short program. So, and it was good. It wasn't his absolute best, but the free program was really heartfelt and emotional, and I was so proud of him.
I guess the other thing here is that given that he was, you know, physically skating when the earthquake and the tsunami happened in 2011, and then he was able to come back and succeed in Sochi, you know that he can overcome adversity and he can still succeed. So I guess going through what we're going through at the moment, there's your boys there, that must give you some hope that he's been through adversity once before and succeeded.
Yeah, you know, it's like, I mean, it's always... it's hard. It's difficult for any athlete to go through anything like this, but he was so smart to listen to all of the folks around him that were trying to make him better. And you know, the biggest mistake the athletes do is that they get back on the ice or they get back on the field or wherever their sport is. They do it too soon, and then that's always another setback. But he was really smart, and I was really proud of him that he listened to all of his, to all of the people that were, you know, all the therapists and the doctors to try to help him get better. And he listened. And it sounded like, you know, when they said you need to be completely off for 2 months, it was like, wow,
yeah.
2 months, 2 months, like, you know, but, you know, and we had done it before. And I said to him, I said, well, you know, I saw that you were able to get yourself together in 6 weeks to a championship. And so I said, you know, when you finish your therapy and everything, we have exactly 6 weeks. So you've done it before, and we can do it again. And so I think he probably took some comfort in that. But it was hard because, when he was coming back to the ice and he was taking his little baby steps, Javier Fernandez was skating like lights out. So that was a tough one. That was a tough one for Yuzu to be watching Javier going through clean programs and clean run-throughs. And he's working on, doing a double toe loop, It was
little
tough.
by little.
And it was hard for me as a coach too, because I'm pushing Javi and keeping him on track at the same time, cheering Yuzu for doing a double toe loop. But I had to keep, like I always did, to find the balance between the two and what they need.
Do you feel like you're more of a psychologist now than you've ever been before?
Oh boy. There's a lot of psychology involved, but it's tough when you have, you have 12 skaters and they're all different, and that's the thing. I don't have like a cookie cutter way of doing things. So I have to adapt to them. I have to adapt to their personalities. I have to adapt to their schedules. And, everybody's different. So it wasn't a Monday to Friday or a Monday to Saturday. It was everybody had different schedules.
Yeah. And I guess now it's the same thing, isn't it? Everyone's in different time zones.
Well, right now. So basically it's there's only so much that I can do, and Tracy and the choreographers and all of us on our team. There's only so much we can do right now, other than making sure that they are staying fit and trying to better some areas that they needed to have to work on. But this also shows, separates, the real true athletes, to be honest with you. So you can't spoon feed them all the way through. You have to let them be on their own. And if they want to take the initiative to do extra classes and to work on flexibility and do all these things, they can take my advice, but they have to do it. And I'm not there to hold their hand. So, but this is a good test.
And I guess it's also an interesting time because between every games, there's always kind of a passing of the guard. There's always new blood coming through, and someone who seems so dominant for so long could easily be knocked off that pedestal as the new crop of athletes are coming through.
There's, you got to be careful, especially like someone like Yuzu, is that you have to keep looking forward. There are some great athletes coming, along the way. They're coming out of juniors, and then you've got like the Nathan Chans of the world. You cannot stop and look back. You have to keep looking and keep pushing forward. There's sometimes you have a little peek back every once in a while, and that's always maybe somewhat helpful or healthy, but you have to just keep charging forward. And that's a tough thing when you are a leader and when you're a champion, but you've
got a target on your back.
Yes, of course. And you can't blame the other guys for you're the one to beat. When we first started with Yuzuru, the one to beat was Patrick Chan.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a skater. He's a he's a remarkable athlete. And so he was in his prime then. So we were like, what do we need to do to compete with him? And it was more on the second mark. It was not so much about the quads. I mean, sure, the quads are great. And when Yuzu does them, they're sensational and they're the best in the world. But it was the second mark. It was the components. It was the skating skills, all those things that Patrick Chan was excelling in, and was way, way ahead of us. So then it was, first competition. Okay, this is, there's a gap. And then we work on stuff. And then we go to the next competition. We've closed the gap. We closed the gap until we were even. And then when we got to Olympics, we moved ahead. But that was, strategic. It wasn't just by luck. We worked on every single crossover, forwards and backwards in all directions, and every transition. We worked, and with all the athletes. And it takes time.
Yeah, often they say that with an athlete that wins, a gold medal, it wasn't just 4 years. It was 8 years. It was 10 years. It was, a lot more work than just that 4-year cycle.
Yes, and that's the thing too. With the athlete and a coach relationship, there's no quick fix. You can't. It's you know, it's funny, like if we get a new skater and they want to have, you know, somebody will say, a parent or federation was like, okay, we want them to win Worlds next year. It's like, hang on, you know. So I have to go and get my magic wand out, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we've always felt that it takes about a year and a half to make the change, for things to start to stick. Because you can make changes, whether it's with technique, and then you add some new skating skills, and that's technique as well. And then, but when they get into their first few competitions and they're nervous, like everybody is, quite often they go back to their old ways. I mean, and that's human nature, and that's typical, and it's natural. But then after a while, some of the new stuff will start to take hold. So you'll see little moments of it in competition. We see it every day in practice, but in competition is where it really needs to stick. So that's where it has to really take hold. And so it takes about 18 months. It's a year and a half. And it's funny because just about with everybody that we've had new, it's like, I look at Tracy and I go, oh my gosh, this is exactly a year and a half. It was like Evgenia this year when we did the Cup of Russia, where I thought she had probably her best skate ever. And it all came together, and it was incredible. It was athletic. It was beautiful. She was faster. There were all kinds of great things that we got to build on from all of her great stuff from before. Like she was obviously a great skater from before too, but as a young woman, it was kind of a new direction for her. But it was 18 months. Right down. The same thing with Yuzu. It was 18 months. Actually, the first year with him, he had been third in the world, and he dropped to fourth when he was with us. And, you know, and a lot of athletes and federations or parents would just be, okay, oh no, we're out of there. That didn't work, you know. And he stuck with us. And the same thing with Javier. Javier, the first year with us, his world championship and Europeans was not great. It was okay.
Yeah.
But it was the next year that he really made his mark.
Well, you talked about Evgenia there, and earlier you said that she's going to be ready, she's going to be good to go. So after that break, how has she sort of bounced back?
I think she's had this recently, just a realization, because she needed to give her body a rest, and so I think she's pretty. I think she appreciates this break right now. And it's one of those things too. With athletes, they'll either come back stronger. They'll be missing the training. They'll be missing the process. And I think I know that she's at that stage right now, that she actually misses it. And you need to step away from it to understand that, because I think there are some athletes that are probably at a crossroads right now. And for some athletes, this just might be the you know what? I think I'm going to pursue my university education. I'm going to pursue something else. And then there's others who go, oh my gosh, I miss it so much, and I'm not done. I've got so much more to do. You know, and that's a personal evolution of how they get to it. It's something that they get to it. It's not going to be encouraged by anybody else around them.
Some of them might launch painting careers.
Like who?
I don't know. You tell me. Actually, you've seen all the artwork. I've been submitting it to you. You're the teacher. Who's the most talented with a paintbrush?
Oh, you know who is Evgenia. She's extremely talented. She draws beautiful things.
Wow.
Yeah. She's really talented in that. But trust me, she'll be sticking to the skating. And you don't want to see my artwork.
I would love to see your artwork. We would love to see that. We could auction it. We could help auction it for tomorrow.
Yeah. No, you don't want to do that.
You said before people will be reassessing, thinking about if they want to come back and whatnot. That segues to this young man right here. You talked about him a little bit earlier. What was it like? What was it like being in Pyeongchang when this man did what he did for Spain, winning that first medal for his country at a Winter Olympics?
It was, oh my God. I'm just watching this footage. It just, because I don't even know if I've watched it since then, to be honest with you. Oh, yeah, it was really important for Javi. just for him to get a medal. That was his goal. He's already a 2-time world champion. He had some great moments. He wasn't a flash in the pan. He worked his way through that. We were 9 years working together, and it was, oh my God, it was amazing. I get kind of emotional watching this. I'm like, please. Yeah. So it was like, you got a medal. So
apologies to Tracy in this, but I couldn't get her picture in the frame enough, but this is
Okay.
a beautiful moment.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know what, with these skaters, it's like family, you know, and for us, it's like Javi's like our poster child for for what we do, for the type of work, for the type of training we do. He's like our poster child. He lived on his own. He cooked his own cooking, his own cleaning. He got himself to the rink. It was he followed every single step of our advice and direction, and it came to this. So, you know, it works.
So what is it that makes a good skater? Because you're obviously working so closely with these athletes. You are, you know, you probably see them more than you do your own family. So what is it that you, I guess, say to them and encourage them to do to be the best versions of themselves on the ice and, you know, be like Javi?
I think, well, with Javi, I think the biggest challenge at the very beginning was for him to realize that he was that good. You know, it was just a diamond in the rough. And once we got through, you know, the first season, and he started getting some medals at some Grand Prix, and I said, Javi, like this is not by chance. Like obviously you've worked, and we have a schedule, and you're following the schedule, and you're working hard, but it's a program, it's a system that works, and you belong there. That's the thing. Like it's not by chance you're a world champion. You belong in there with the big boys. You know, you should be competing with Patrick and with Yuzu, and you know, you're that good. So, and I think he realized that once we gave him some direction and got him on a schedule, he realized it wasn't that hard. He was just he was a loose cannon when we got him. He didn't know how to train. So when we just put him on a program that wasn't that difficult, and we had to put, you know, we had to rein him in a little bit, but he realized it wasn't that hard, and he grew as a human being, and you know, he's so well respected in the community of figure skating.
Because the thing is,
yeah,
we fall in love with athletes when we see them perform. We fall in love with their personalities and what they bring to the table. And I think, you know, sometimes it's hard to understand what people are like off the rink, you know, because people would maybe look at some of your skaters and think they look really shy. But obviously, you know, Evgenia, Yuzu, Jason, they all have a confidence within them, whether we actually can see that confidence on the ice or not.
Well, you have to, it kind of goes, it's kind of like the chicken and the egg. You don't know what comes first, the confidence on the ice to give them confidence off the ice, or vice versa. And I think the greatest compliment I can get, and Tracy and I as coaches, is when you have their family members that are grateful for, you know, taking care of their kid. Which was the case with Javi's parents. They were just so happy and so relieved that he was learning some life skills with us, because he wasn't at home in Spain. He wasn't with them. And they're fantastic people. So we were kind of, you know, given the task. You know, for me, when a skater has finished their competitive career, I want to send them into the world as a nice person. Yeah. And somebody who was respected, and somebody who was respectful, and somebody who's continued to do good. And so it's not just only about getting those medals. It's giving them some tools in life that they can, you know, when they make decisions, they'll think back to some of our lessons that we had. And you know, I think we did help mold him as a human being and as a young man. his parents are very grateful for that. And so that's one of the greatest rewards as a coach.
Yeah, no pressure.
But they're good, but they're good people. You know, they're all really good people, you know, and they have to know that. That's the thing. You just show them, you tell them, you give them examples about how they're good people, you know.
Do you find that you're extra protective? Because I have to say, as a human, as an emotional human, I look at how much attention these athletes get and I think, wow, it must be really difficult to live a life. You know, we look at the celebrities in Hollywood and whatnot, but some of these figure skaters really do have that level of attention. I mean, how do you wrap them up and look after them and make sure that they can perform and, you know, not be distracted by all this mayhem that's going on around them?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I don't know how they do it sometimes, because I know that, I mean, I grew up in a different era where we didn't have social media and we didn't have a fan base that could be as vocal. So it's tricky, and, you know, I want them to be accessible to the fans. There's times where I tell them you can't read anything right now. There are times where, you know, I mean, I don't know how I would have managed it, you know, because I wanted everybody to love everything I was doing. I wanted them to love my costume, love my program, love my choreography, you know. And if anybody was one little tiny bit negative, I would just get rid of the program. Like I could not hear anything negative. And so it's tough for these guys because they're trying hard. They want their fans to be happy. It's hard to please everybody. So there's a lot of pressure on them. You know, There's a whole other, it's like an event in itself. And it's not even a competitive about how many followers you have. And, you know, it's, I think it used to be, but I think that's a bit tired now. I think they just, they want to just put out positive things, you know. And then we all make little missteps every once in a while.
We're human.
We're human, and it's not intentional, but there's got to be, I think some of the fans have to cut a little bit of slack because it's a bit tough sometimes, and especially during these times, you know.
So I take it you haven't said, hey, user, this is the time to jump on social media. You've got nothing, you know, you're not going to be out in the world. You might as well jump online now. Now's the time to do it. You haven't advised them to do that.
I don't advise them very much about the social media, other than just be careful what you post and be careful what you read. That's the thing. And there's going to be times where, you know, you're going to read stuff that's going to affect you as a human being. And it's, you know, and how you go out and compete. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it when they, you know, and there's different camps. You know, you've got the user camp and you've got the Javi camp, and you might have the Jason Brown camp, and you've got the Junwan Cha camp, and it's like, and they're against each other. And it's like, let's everybody just enjoy the craft that we have. It's a beautiful craft, and there's something good from all of these skaters.
Well, it's a privilege to be able to witness it. It's a privilege to be in an era where we can see these athletes coming through, and for you to be at the helm, you're doing a fantastic job. Now, I can't let you go until I've let you have a look at your footage, right?
Oh, my God.
How adorable is this?
I know. I was skinny like Javier Fernandez. That is so funny. Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Tell us about performing in Calgary.
Yeah, I tell the skaters too. It's like, okay, try to do a double loop after a triple axel. Like, it's not easy. Wow, that was so much fun though.
You look happy.
The Olympics played out like almost the way I had sort of written it. Other than, again, I mean, as far as the skate goes, I mean, I skated two really good programs. I kind of wrote a different ending. However, the Battle of the Brains.
The Battle of the Brains.
It, yeah, there's, it was a big part of skating history, that's for sure. And you know what? The cool thing is that Brian and I gave these skating fans everything that they wanted, you know. We didn't let them down. We were close in the figures. I won the short, he won the long, he won overall, you know, but nobody messed up.
Beautiful.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Hey, well, before you go, there's one last question I always ask everyone before we say goodbye. And I know I've taken up a lot of your time. You're a busy man. So the last question is, what is one thing that you are grateful for today? It can be as simple as your yuzu drink if you want.
No, you know what? I think I'm grateful for my parents and the lessons that I learned from them. That's what I'm really most grateful. I think I am who I am because of them. They taught me a lot of my life skills, and and I'm grateful for figure skating as well. But I think my parents, I have to say, they taught me a lot of really, really helpful things.
Beautiful. Well, lots of love to your parents and lots of love to Canada, because you're wearing that red shirt and it looks good on you. But also, good luck for Saturday for Open Ice. It's going to be fantastic. And people can also jump on your Instagram and they can get the details about it. But openice.live is the place to go to watch it. 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm looking forward to checking in.
Terrific. I'm actually going to be posting something today on Instagram because my sister, together with Gloria, from my friend from Spain, who is an artist, and she has been putting together these beautiful pieces of art of the frontline caregivers.
Right.
And so my sister's making cards, and she's going to be selling them for this charity as well. So I'm going to post it. I'm going to put it on Instagram today. And so everybody take a look for that. Beautiful artwork and Gloria's she'll be hashtagged in that as well too, because she does some amazing work. And she was the one that actually got Javier Fernandez starting to skate. So there's quite a cool connection there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. And look, I think, was this your first Instagram Live?
Yes.
I hope it was a memorable first.
It was amazing. It was easy.
Great.
I was like, I didn't grow up in this age of this type of media, so I'm very rusty. But this is one thing I'm getting much better at during this time. This is one of the silver linings that I'm getting better at this stuff.
Amen.
Thanks for your patience.
All right. Hey, look, thank you so much. And look, all the best. Lots of love. Take care. And we look forward to seeing everything tomorrow and speaking to you soon.
Terrific.